I'll say I like it. Like it's nice, but I'm gonna have to keep it open. One, because I'd rock it like this and definitely catch like some charges from UA, because this is not how it's supposed to be. And also, we're not down with the mic muffling, so we're gonna go like this. Let's talk about some quirks. Quirks define every encounter found in My Hero Academia. If we didn't know the story behind Todoroki's icy hot abilities, the sports festival arc wouldn't be nearly as spicy. Class 1A's quirks have gotten a lot of on-screen time already, so that's why I'm here to talk about another set of quirks. Welcome to the Class 1B Student Quirkopedia. It's definitely supposed to be Quirkology 102. We did that video already, you should go watch it. But after this, Quirkopedia. Let's start. Kojiro Bando stands out among Class 1B's ranks for having a glue dispenser as his head. His unique cranium is a byproduct of his quirk, Semendine. I definitely thought that said something else. Okay, it's classified as a mutant style quirk. So Kojiro's glue dispenser is essentially built into his anatomy, with the unhappy side effect of giving his skin a yellowish Simpson-y hue. His weird looking head is the most obvious mutation, and it's full of holes. Anyway, 7 holes to be exact, but don't mistake any of those for his eyes. He uses all 7 to spew adhesive glue. So where does he see from? I'm too scared to ask. Trypophobia triggers aside, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with his quirk. Using Semendine, Kojiro can shower any area with a sticky, glue-like liquid.
Why you gotta say it like that?
Because I thought it was something else before, and I'm kind of thinking it is still. I didn't say what it was though, so it's okay. Don't demonetize. Anyways, he's able to adjust the attributes of his glue on the fly after it's made contact, hopefully with its intended target, because how does this guy see through weird holes on his face? That's not how eyes work. Kojiro can harden his glue, partially encasing the foe, or he can soften the substance, making it super sticky. I'm getting so uncomfortable reading this. The choice is up to Kojiro. We've also seen him use one super move, Glue Squall. He releases a large glue blast over an area, immobilizing anything it touches. All right, here's my question. How does he clean up after Glue Squall? Or does he just like leave that to all the regular humans? Is it like Spider-Man when he does the thing and it just kind of goes away? Or is it just like weird, sticky substance all over the area? Ugh. Continuing with our roll call for Class 1B, we have UA's one and only American transfer student, Pony Tsunotori. She proudly wears her metaphorical stars and stripes across her body with her mutant class quirk, Horn Cannon. Due to her quirk, Pony's entire body has horse-like anatomy. Her feet look like hooves, her calves are rounded like a horse, and to top it all off, Pony has a short, horse-like tail. But her quirk is more than just being a horse. Horn Cannon is all about those 2 horns. I hate that I did that. Also, horses don't have horns, right? I don't think, why?
Aren't you from Ohio?
Yeah,
Should you know this?
I feel like I should. I don't. Okay, all right, I'm pretty sure horses don't have horns. Pony can fire horns as projectiles and apparently regrow them real quick too, because immediately after launching them, 2 new horns regenerate in the place of the old horns. Pony can remotely control up to 4 launched horns at once, altering their trajectory mid-flight at will. They're basically like drones that spawn from her head. Pony sometimes uses her remote horns as transportation, but naturally they move a lot slower when she's riding around on top of them. However fast they're going, Pony's horns are incredibly strong. She maintains that strength by consuming loads of keratin, a protein that's often found in nails, claws, hair, and, well, horns. I don't want to know what she's been eating to keep her keratin levels up. Pony's horns are the star of her quirk, but they really take center stage for her super move, Thunderhorn. She attacks her foe with a continuous stream of horns with a few remotely controlled horns on standby just in case. Now, we haven't seen much of Senkai Ibara in My Hero Academia, but what we can say is that he's a bit of a Gurren Lagann aficionado. Using his transformation class quirk, Gyrate, Sen is able to rotate any part of his body at incredibly high speeds. Basically, he can turn his limbs into drills. With the aid of his quirk, Sen's close quarter combat abilities are nearly unrivaled amongst UA students. While he technically can rotate any of his body parts, he usually goes for either his arms or legs, as those are the most effective parts in combat. Sen cloaks each finger in a spiral pattern fabric, making them look even more like drills. These markings make his attacks even stronger as he grows ever closer to being a human DeWalt drill. Spin on Sen. I believe in the me that believes in you. Like everyone, not everyone, Ibara Shiozaki has hair. Told you not everyone. Except her hair is green and could be packaged then sold in the produce section of Whole Foods. But her mutant class quirk called Vines doesn't just turn her hair green, literal vines come from her head. And they don't just sit there like the boring ass hair we have. Shiozaki has complete control over her vines. She can lengthen the vines at will, using them to ensnare foes, grab objects, and create a shield to protect herself. Even though her vines are super powered, Shiozaki still needs a haircut from time to time. She can even go as far as shaving her whole head. Once the vines get cut off, they don't just die right away. Shiozaki is still able to use her quirk to manipulate the prune strands. But growing them back is a little more involved than just waiting it out. To get her vines to return, Shiozaki needs to water her scalp, then bathe her head in direct sunlight. She's essentially a chia pet. If you don't know what a chia pet is, I don't know. I was gonna insult you, but it's not your fault. Notably, Shiozaki's hair doesn't conduct electricity, making her a natural counter to Kaminari's quirk, electrification. Shiozaki has 3 super moves at her disposal, all of which have a not-so-subtle Judeo-Christian motif. I mean, it makes sense given her hair is a literal crown of thorns. In her first move, Crucifixion, Shiozaki completely binds her opponent with layers upon layers of vines. Like I said, not so subtle. Her next super move is called Via Dolorosa, which sounds like a lost episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5. In reality, it's a move where Shiozaki covers an entire area in her vines. Similar to Kojiro's Glue Squall, she can use his move to trap multiple foes simultaneously. It's named after the route Jesus Christ took to reach his crucifixion. Translated to English, the phrase literally means way of suffering. Scholars like myself have also interpreted to mean visiting my parents during Thanksgiving. So glad my parents don't watch this. Shiozaki's last super move is called Faith's Shield. She protects the space around her using a dense wall constructed from her vines. We saw her use this move against Kaminari during the UA Sports Festival. And I really wish we got to see her more, especially if she was just in Class 1A, because she's like really dope. It's like really cool character design.
She would have been, but Orokushi was too lazy to draw her.
Why?
Her hair's too hard to draw. Like he literally said that.
I'm down with the peak laziness. All right, I'll sacrifice it because work smarter, not harder, or lazier. I'm down. All right, sorry. The guy with the stupidest name on the roster. Transformation quirks can be tough to come by, but TetsuTetsu's transformation class quirk, Steel, is even tougher.
No. No!
Try and fire me, boy. Comedy G. Using his quirk, TetsuTetsu can turn his entire body into high-quality steel. This shields him from various hazards that would harm average humans like bullets, swords, falling grand pianos, etc. Steel also protects him from extreme temperatures on either end of the spectrum. Even Todoroki's ice wouldn't give him frostbite. Using his quirk also increases his strength to superhuman levels. According to TetsuTetsu, the power of his quirk is dependent on the amount of iron in his diet. So I hope he enjoys tofu, spinach, and pumpkin seeds. Not exactly what I expected from a guy like TetsuTetsu, but I respect it. Pumpkin seeds are not too bad. Now, Steel does have a few weaknesses. I know his quirk protects him from extreme temperatures, but TetsuTetsu could melt if exposed to high enough heat, like thousands of degrees. Other than very extreme heat, TetsuTetsu can still be harmed by internal attacks like poison gas. Also, if he uses his quirk for too long, he'll suffer from iron deficiency. So yeah, if TetsuTetsu remains hard for 4 more hours, he may need to visit a doctor. Or eat some pumpkin seeds. I don't think that's how that works though. TetsuTetsu has a single super move that's aptly called the TetsuTetsu Fist. For the move, he gets extraordinarily No! I'm an adult man. For the move, he gets extraordinarily hard and attacks his enemies with a single all-powerful, devastating blow. Basically, it's just a really hard punch. So not much going on there. Juzo Hononuki's quirk, Softening, is like the polar opposite of TetsuTetsu's quirk. You didn't hear any of me laughing in there, right?
You could kinda hear it in the back of your throat.
I'm an adult male! With this emitter class quirk, Juzo can turn any solid, like the ground, wood, or metal, and turn it into a semi-liquid material, kind of like mud or quicksand. All it takes is a single touch from any part of Juzo's body. In the sports festival arc, we saw Juzo soften the ground under his sneakers without destroying his kicks. Based on that, we can assume Juzo has some control over what is and isn't softened. He's not like Miria, where whenever he uses his quirk, he falls right through his clothes. Juzo's also able to swim in large swaths of softened material. So I guess that's something that he and Mirio have in common. His quirk is excellent for laying traps. Things he soften retain their shape until another person interacts with them and gets caught. To re-solidify the objects he softens, Juzo just needs to touch them a second time. The objects will also go back to normal if he gets knocked unconscious. One caveat to Juzo's quirk is that he can't soften living beings, so he can't just run around turning people into goop, which is honestly a little disappointing. Real talk, I hate this quirk. Like, I don't want to drown in the sidewalk, and I don't want to think about all the other ways Juzo could use his quirk to fuck up my day. I can see it now. I get a new Tanjiro figure, show it to my buddy Juzo, and next thing you know, my Nendoroid's in a puddle at my feet. You're uninvited, dog. You can't come back to the crib. My mom said it's not cool, but that's not my mom saying that. I told her to say that. I hate you. All right, let's give a big hand for Class 1B, or in Itsuka Kendo's case, 2. I'm a roll today. Class 1B's class representative can enlarge her hands to gigantic proportions using her transformation class quirk, Big Fist. At their largest, the hands are just about 3 times larger than Kendo herself. She can increase their size pretty much instantaneously, and as they grow, her physical strength scales with them. Kendo has been seen using her exceptionally strong hands to decimate shields, carry people around, protect allies, and generate gusts of wind. There's a lot you can do with just some giant hands. Kendo has a single known super move with her quirk. It's called Double Jumbo Fist. For this move, Kendo rushes an opponent with her hands at normal sizes and activates her quirk shortly before attack makes contact. Have you ever wished that everything in the entire world could just fit together like Legos? That's the premise of Yosetsu Iwase's emitter class quirk, Weld. Using his quirk, Yosetsu can combine matter at the atomic level. All he needs to do is touch 2 or more things he wishes to unite. Unlike Juzo's softening, his quirk can be applied to both normal objects and living things. After Yosetsu uses his quirk, the targets will be bound together indefinitely. It doesn't sound very impressive, but it works perfectly for tasks like attaching trackers to an enemy, or if Yosetsu wants to hide things on his own body. And if he needs to reverse the process, Yosetsu can unbind things with a simple touch. So if he managed to put a Kick-Me-san on Deku's back, it'd pretty much be stuck there permanently. Yosetsu has one known super move called Construction Done Quick, Weldcraft, where he binds a foe to a nearby structure using various metallic rods he carries with him. Which is weirdly specific, and probably a little bit weirder that he just carries rods with him everywhere, but for a quirk like Bind, I feel like that's pretty par for the course. So it's already known that Horikoshi loves Western culture, and a lot of My Hero Academia is based off Western properties. However, Horikoshi rarely takes something from the West as shamelessly as he did with Jurota Shishida. Except for those Superman and Dr. Midnight and Spider-Man and Wolverine cameos in the first chapter, but it's fine, it's fine. But really though, Jurota is just like Beast from X-Men. Sure, he's not blue, but he's a highly intelligent, glasses-wearing animal man. I see you, Horikoshi. At least his transformation class quirk, Beast, is a little different. Jirota's already a pretty hairy guy, but he can use his quirk to transform into a large beast-like creature, and he kind of looks like Wild Mutt from Ben 10, or Bigfoot. By the way, when are we gonna get a Bigfoot anime? I feel like I'm the only person asking, but I don't care. We should do that. I think it'd be pretty cool. Just like Wild Mutt, Jurota grows in size, gets larger fangs, and grows an even thicker coat of fur. His strength, agility, durability, and senses are all way stronger in his beast form as well. For example, his sense of smell gains precision in range that would make a bloodhound jealous. There is one drawback though. After activating his quirk, Jurota gets all riled up, causing him to act more recklessly. It's difficult for him to strategize or think clearly. Jurota has 2 super moves at his disposal. The first is called Roaring Rage. In his beast mode, Jurota leaps through the air towards his foes, sending them flying with a single swipe from his claws. His second super move, Re-Beast, is closer to a battle tactic than a move. Jurota briefly reverts to his smaller human form to dodge an attack, then reactivates his quirk to counterattack. Now, before I get to Class 1A's biggest hater, you know him well, Monoma, I gotta talk about our sponsor, our boys over at Crunchyroll. They'll be simulcasting season 4 of My Hero Academia, so if you don't already have an account, what are you doing? Head on over to Crunchyroll and get a 14-day free trial. Just use this URL to sign up, crunchyroll.com/GetintheRobot. And stick around for when Studio Bones makes my wildest dreams come true by making a My Hero Academia Vigilantes adaptation.
Which is never gonna happen.
Stop. If you speak it, it won't, so relax. Well, at least we have that My Hero spinoff we were talking about a couple episodes ago, Musume Pretty Derby. So, yeah.
Which isn't My Hero at all.
Again, just let me pretend before you just jump in with your facts, dog. Relax, okay? What next? You're gonna tell me everything I said in the previous episode isn't coming too? What's next? You're gonna tell me Gurren Lagann isn't Senkai Ibara's origin story?
He's the drill guy, right? Or
I don't remember, but I think it is. It is his origin story.
no, it's not.
Stop. Well, at least my boy Backdraft is getting some time in Fire Force. He's the dog.
I don't even think they use hoses in Fire Force.
Maybe they do later on. Maybe there's an evil guy who makes
I
who's
don't
not
think
no.
that happens.
Let me live my dream, please. Relax. Anyway, go to Crunchyroll right now for a 14-day free trial. That's crunchyroll.com/GetintheRobot. Oh, I've got spinoffs on the mind because we did a whole video on it, by the way. Todoroki is a K-drama star. Fight me. I know he's from Japan. Fight me. I don't know cultures. Okay. I'm riled up enough. Let's talk about Monoma now. No one's surprised that Nato Monoma is a total outcast in Class 1B. We know how he's got it out for Class 1A, but we don't know too much about his emitter class quirk, Copy. By using this ability, Monoma can copy anyone's quirk by coming into physical contact with them. That sounds pretty basic, but here's the best part. Monoma can store upwards of 4 quirks at a given time, switching between them at will. At first, it sounds like a quirk like Monoma's has the potential to be absolutely broken. Luckily, it does come with certain restrictions. Copy quirks can only remain in his possession for up to 10 minutes. It used to be limited to 5 minutes, but Monoma's trained himself to increase his endurance. Once time is up, Monoma needs to make contact with the user again to use their quirk. Also, he can't effectively copy quirks that stockpile like One for All. If he did attempt to copy One for All, it'd have the strength equal to that of when it was first created, rather than the immense power it has accrued by transferring across 8 users before finally reaching Deku. Monoma is only able to activate one copy quirk at a time, but if a quirk physically altered his body or an object around him, those effects will remain in play until he reactivates the associated quirk. For example, if he copied Kendo's big fists, Monoma could activate it, gain abnormally large hands, then use another quirk while retaining his giant hands. However, it's possible with proper training that he can overcome this limitation. Since we first met him, Monoma has increased how many quirks he can store at once and his time limit. The limit of what he can train is currently unknown. Oh, and nobody knows if Monoma has any super moves, but keep in mind, you never know with a guy that crafty. Now, if you found any of the quirk terminology I use in this video confusing, like emitter, transformation, or mutant, we already talked about it, Quirkology 101. You should go check that out. It's a really good video. I'm also in it. Otherwise, if you like the video, please consider subscribing. I'm Kurt, this is Getting the Robot, made in NYC because we can't move to Japan.